Today, I stand before you to tell you the truth cannot be hidden by Israel's murdering of journalists. We are journalists. We are members of the media who stand for truth, justice, and human rights, not for power, who do not remain silent in the face of oppression worldwide. We adhere to the principles of objectivity. First and foremost, we are humans. We are mothers, fathers, brothers, and sisters, and children. Today, with this press statement, we leave a mark in history. We declare that we will not stay silent in the face of the genocide currently being carried out by the Israeli occupying forces, who have committed dozens of massacres since 1948, and we voice our full support to the just cause of the Palestinian people. With this conviction, we will be the voices of the silenced journalists who were massacred at the hands of the apartheid forces while simply doing their job. We strongly condemn the indiscriminate targeting and killing of innocent civilians. We denounce all forms of oppression and dehumanization, and through the news we produce and photographs we capture, we will continue to inform the world that Israel is a perpetrator and a corrupt terrorist state. While I dislike using the term terrorist loosely, it is important that we call it for what it is. The acts of the Israeli occupation forces are no short of terrorism. Not only is Gaza being bombarded daily, but it is under siege with food, fuel, medical supplies being withheld. At the same time, Israel continues to target journalists there who are the only voices able to convey these atrocities to the world. It cannot be emphasized enough that this is an area of the world where over 40% of the population are children, and thousands have been killed already during the onslaught. Israel is well aware of the power of the media and knows that the words written or footage captured by Gazan journalists could have a greater impact than the many bombs they have dropped over the heads of civilians. So let the entire world know, and most specifically the occupying Israeli power, we will not remain silent and we will not be silenced. You cannot hide the truth. Despite the fact Israel seeks to silence journalists in the Gaza Strip and throughout Palestine, we are certain they will be unsuccessful, and the global community will acknowledge that the Israeli authorities are perpetrators of many brutal war crimes. As journalists with integrity, we will continue to do our utmost for this cause. Since October 7th, Israel has disregarded international human rights law and denied press freedom. As of today, 38 journalists have been massacred in the Gaza Strip during the ongoing bombardment. Just days ago, Israel had killed the family of a Jazeera veteran journalist, Wael al-Dahdouh, while he was reporting their crimes from the ground, in what we can only understand as an attempt to silence yet another journalist. We saw in the aftermath of journalist Shireen Abu Aqla's murder, who was shot dead by an Israeli sniper last year while on duty reporting, that worshippers carrying her body were attacked during her funeral. They have since also destroyed her monument in the Jenin refugee camp. After failing to mute the voices of the people of Gaza, Israel is now plunging them into deep darkness by severing all means of communication. Today in Istanbul, as national and international journalists, we once again appeal for justice from this square. Under international law, journalists working in the extreme conditions of war and conflict zones should be afforded protection, yet they are targeted by Israel on a daily basis, something that should be considered state terrorism. Similarly, some of our colleagues who aim to inform the world about the plight of Palestinians are threatened, harassed, and silenced through pressure and censorship. We implore all national and international media outlets to adhere to ethical principles and respect basic human values. We strongly condemn any media outlet that has turned a blind eye to the genocide taking place in Palestine. With racist and Islamophobic bias at the forefront, we have seen a clear disparity in the global response to airstrikes on Ukraine and those in Gaza. I dare to ask, is Palestinian life less worthy to some? We have abused observed a biased stance and grave distortions of truth, with many choosing to remain silent, even when it is our own colleagues being massacred. I end this speech by demanding every state, every institution and individual take every possible measure to end their war, to end this war, and those who choose not to are complicit in these crimes. Enough is enough. Stop the genocide now.
Gazze halkı yalnız değildir. Gazze